Hi, ladies. I am so excited. I'm Mike Goldstein of Easy Dating Coach. We are here with Matt Schaefer to talk about 5 things men over 50 crave in bed. I'm so excited for this topic because Matt Schaefer has 4 million views talking about sex on his channel. And both of us have a decade of experience. He's helped 70,000 women in group coaching, and I am ecstatic to have him here. I've known him for almost a decade. He's been coaching a decade. I've been doing this a decade. We are here to give you some great stuff. Matt, welcome.
So happy to be here, Mike. It's been a minute since I've been on your channel, and I just love your audience, and I'm really stoked to share some ways to sort of bridge the physical divide with men that are a little older, because I know sometimes as we start to get a little older, we can feel like sex can be more challenging, but it doesn't have to be, you know? And so we're going to talk about that stuff. I'm going to unpack it. I'm really looking forward to it.
I love it. And right before we get into this, I have to give this to my audience. If you're new, if you've been here for a while, Matt has the craziest free offer I've ever heard of in this planet. On October 28th, he's doing 3 weeks for free with folks. He's going to do 2 lives every week. And then finally, on the third week, he meets with you every single day. And thousands of women roll through this because Matt Schaefer is an absolute genius. And in my opinion, I hate to say this because I'm his competition, if you will, but he is the hardest working love coach in the industry. And that's why I have him on, because I know when I send folks to him, they're in really, really good hands. So Matt, explain this program in more detail, and then we'll talk about sex.
Absolutely, Mike. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, it's called Mastery of Connection, and it's a 3-week live course designed to support you in transforming all of your relationships from the inside out. We're going to be doing belief work, attachment style work, and personality matrix work to really help you understand your patterns in a relationship and change them so you can finally start having the relationships that you want. There's going to be 15 video lessons and over 50 hours of live coaching with me and my coaching team, plus an incredible community container for you to get support and guidance from other women in the group. So it's going to be an insane value. And I promise if you come along with us, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is fill out a brief application to be one of our beta testers. And all I want from you in exchange for taking a part in this $2,000 value is feedback and testimonials so I can make the course even better. So go ahead and click the link down below to sign up, apply, become a beta tester, and we're going to dive in on October 28th. And even if it's after October 28th, sign up anyway, and we'll be sure to either add you to this course or sign you up for the next one. And I promise if you do, you will have absolutely better relationships with men and everyone else in your life by coming along with us.
And just to reiterate, because I know a lot of people say one thing and then bait and switch you, this is 100% free. That's why I say
Yes.
this is the most insane offer. He gives you so much of his time, so much of his energy. I know he's exhausted by the time these things are done. And so I urge women, if you are thinking about improving your love life, improving yourself, go on this journey. I mean, there's no better offer in our industry. All
Thank
right.
you, brother. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. All right. We came here to talk about 5 things men over 50 crave in bed. Matt,
Yes.
what is number one, sir?
Yeah. So an important thing to remember up front here is men over 50, if they've done it right, are done playing games. They don't want the gamesmanship. And for the most part, they're tired of the shenanigans of younger women too. They want a woman who knows what they want. And that is why the first tip of this whole thing is so important. It is confidence. We want a woman who knows themselves, who knows what they want, and isn't afraid to ask for it, right? So that comes through in so many different areas of dating an older man, right? It's asking for what you need in bed. It's asking him for what makes you happy, for what makes you come, for all these different things. Like he wants you to communicate your desires, your needs, and not be afraid to even initiate with him, right? If you have something that you like in bed, a preference or something that you want him to do to you, take his hand, put it wherever you want, right? Like give him instructions. Like we don't want to be mind readers at any age, but especially as we get older, and as my girlfriend reminded me recently, I am getting closer to 50, like one day at a time. And I know, and a lot of my friends, and I have a lot of folks that I know who are getting older, and we just want a woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to ask for it or initiate it. So confidence, Mike, confidence is number one.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is brilliant. I've been categorized as a responder, and so are a lot of men. And so what that means is when a woman is really enjoying herself, totally in her pleasure, and the way for her to totally be in pleasure is to ask for exactly what she needs. And then when me as the responder sees her in this pleasure, I get to have a better experience because I see her in her joy, in her pleasure, and I'm like, whoa, this is exciting. I'm feeling connection. I'm feeling present and with her.
Yeah. That's I love what you shared. And that goes to one of the core concepts that I actually teach in this work. It's that you, as the feminine, you are the conductor of the emotional and communicative aspects of the relationship. You are basically the conductor of the orchestra, inviting the masculine to take action, right? Just like a conductor invites an orchestra to take action, we are doers, right? We want to do for you and to you. And if you can invite us to do to you exactly what you want, that makes us happy because it takes out the guesswork, right? And that energy of invitation, of confident invitation, of you know who you are, you know what you want, and you're not afraid to own your voice around it. It's a huge turn on, right? I mean, it is for me, and I know for men, especially as we get older, we don't want to play the games anymore. Just let us know so we can do the thing so everyone can be happy. You know what I'm saying?
100% right. All right, Matt,
Hmm.
what's number two, brother?
Number two, and this speaks to the dynamics of masculine and feminine polarity as well, it is playfulness. Men, as we get older, especially, we want play. Life can be heavy, especially if you are a man, especially if you're a man who's working, who's deeply in his career, who's in his vision, who's maybe been through a lot of ups and downs with other women and in other areas of his life. Men over 50 have been through some stuff. They've seen some stuff. They might have a little bit of baggage. Lord knows I got it in my 40s already, right? But like, I mean, like we have some heaviness a lot of times that comes with us. And if you can be that loving interruption to that heaviness and invite us into play, invite us to dance with you in the kitchen, invite us into bed in the middle of the day, or spontaneously like do something joking or playful in the bedroom. Like it's so hot. Like it doesn't always have to be heavy, and sex and lovemaking and physical intimacy doesn't always have to be this like heavy, austere thing. You know, the more playful and light you can be, tell him some like, don't be afraid to make a joke in bed, you know, like, oh, is that all you got? Come on, big boy. You know, like what's some more you got for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, just be willing to play with him, and you're going to invite him to embrace his little boy, which no matter what a man has gone through in his life, he's got a little boy in there who wants to come out, who wants to play. And one of the ways men can really get out of their head and into their body and play most directly is in physical intimacy, is in sex. So if you can make the bed like a sandbox and the two of you can be, I know it sounds weird, but kids at play, I promise it makes sense. Like embrace and embody that energy in sexual intimacy with him. He's going to really love it, and it's going to help him drop his walls and be much more present and connected with you.
I freaking love that. Like Matt and I, we have hard jobs and we have women that bring us into play. They are joyful, they are jovial. And when we get to that play, we forget about work. We can be present. We're not worrying about making more money or like
Yeah.
what job we need to do. And then when we're in our play, we get to explore their body instead of it
Mhm.
like being this systematic thing. It's like, let me take my time, let me explore, let me be a playful, and
Mhm.
so that brings about a better, more fun experience for everyone. And men are like, we need to feel safe. So giving him that I'm playful first, now he can go into little boy into play.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's like that John Mayer song, Your Body is a Wonderland, you know, like your body is the ultimate playground for him. Like, open it up in that way and be that playful companion for him, and like laugh and touch him and just mess around and keep it light. The lighter it is, the more activated and turned on he's going to be, and the more fun you're both going to have.
I wish people saw my face during this. I'm just like nodding up and down, like this is so right. All right, let's move on. What's number three?
So number three, and this is you kind of started speaking to it. You're a mind reader, Mike. Number three is slower, more sensual foreplay, right? We are not in our 20s anymore. Guys in their 20s, they want to cut right to the end of the movie, right? Like that's the standard practice. Like we're little bunny rabbits in our 20s. By the time we get to our 50s, we prefer we're not in a rush anymore. You know what I'm saying? We want to take our time. We want to be turned on. We want to be touched, touched slowly and really allow it to build up. We want to savor the experience because we're a lot more mature as we get older, right? So let you run your hands up his legs, find different spots on him that really turns him on. Give him a massage as a lead in to physical intimacy, to sex, stuff like that. That's the sort of stuff that's going to activate him and get him in the mood, which may not be as easy or immediate for when a guy was in his 20s, right? When a guy's in his 20s or 30s, you touch him on the leg and it's like go time. You know what I'm saying? But you get a guy who's in his 40s and his 50s, and it's like, okay, we get to warm things up slowly and gradually, and it's going to create more polarity. It's going to activate him more, and he's not going to feel rushed or pressured like he has to perform right away, which is important for a guy over 50. So what do you think about that, Mike?
I think that's spot on. I
Hmm.
mean, we know the stats tell us that like sex, I'm forgetting the stat, but I feel like it's somewhere between 2 and 7 minutes, including foreplay and sex, is what the average American is having sex for. And I just want to raise my hand. Like, I do that a lot of the time. I'm not proud of it, but like sometimes we're just trying to get in, get out. But like, let's
Yeah.
be honest, most of those sessions, like some of them are hot, but the ones we really talk about, the ones we remember are that hour, maybe
Mm.
the 2 hour, the 3 hour, where, the 5 hour, maybe we took a break, we had some food, we came back to it.
You
Like
eat
I'm
some
talking about,
fruit, you get some electrolytes in you, and then you come back.
yeah, like really exploring and maybe not with an outcome, but just, once again, the body is a wonderland. We're trying to experience all of it.
Yes. Yeah. And really, and it gives you a chance to build up the anticipation, and for a lot of times, like especially as we get older, we appreciate and savor the journey just as much or more than the destination, and sometimes slower, more sensual foreplay isn't even touch. It might be sending him a sexy picture while he's at the gym, or while he's in a freaking board meeting or whatever heavy stuff he's doing in his life, like being like, hey, here's what I want to do to you later when you get home. That's foreplay. That's stirring the pot, and that's starting to prime the pump so that by the time he gets home, it's on like Donkey Kong. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all these things are going to help him be more craving and more activating, and just more momentum coming into the physical intimacy. It's going to make it much hotter, is what I'm saying, right? For any age, but especially for older guys that need that pump primed a little more.
Absolutely. I love that.
Hmm.
What are we on? Number four, I believe.
Numero cuatro, numero four. And this one is something that I cannot tell you how important this is. It is trying new things. Just because he's in his 50s or whatever, or 60s, doesn't mean he's a robot. And honestly, a lot of guys, as we get older, we get feeling kind of set in our ways. We get locked into these familiar patterns of like, okay, touch me here, we do this position, we do that position, and scene. You know what I'm saying? And that is a quick route. If you just capitulate to a man's habitual patterns of what he normally has had in sex, maybe for the past 20, 30 years, like you're not bringing anything new to the table. You're not interrupting his autopilot, and it can make sex very boring. like very quickly with a partner who's in his 50s. So just because a guy's in his 50s doesn't mean he doesn't want to try new things. And that's some way to really set yourself apart from anyone he's dated or been married to in the past. You know what I'm saying? So introduce different kinks, right? Like do a kink survey with him. Maybe find out, maybe he's had a fantasy since he was 20 years old, but then he married Barbara at 21, fresh out of college, and him and Barbara were together for 25 years. And the one time he brought up that kink, wanting to do handcuffs or something like that, she told him that he was a pervert and a sicko. And then he put that in the back of his head and never mentioned it again for 25 years. What if you guys did a kink survey and found out some secret thing that he's been wanting for 30 years, and then you do it with him? Do you understand the mind-boggling, life-changing impact you're going to have in his life by being the invitation for him to explore something that he's wanted to do for 3 or 4 decades? You know what I'm saying? So like be open to trying new things, introducing toys, new positions, just keeping things fresh, giving him things he wasn't expecting, like surprising him with a blowjob in the kitchen while he's, making a steak. I mean, just like little things like that that are just like pattern interrupts can be super hot and really will help him see you in a different way. Like, oh wow, well, this woman's like different from anyone I've ever been with before. Because by the time a guy's been in his 50s or his 60s, he's been with probably a fair number of partners. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's super important. Mike, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think this is one of the best ones you said. Um, and I think the most important piece is like it starts with the communication. Like if we feel safe to communicate with each other, because that's why we're not having the sex we want to have, right? Whether it was with our
Yeah.
ex-wife or our ex-husband, we didn't feel safe with them emotionally, maybe
Hmm.
physically too. And so we couldn't share what we wanted. So we had
Yeah.
20, 30 years, I have a lot of clients over 60 that had these sexless or awful marriages. And now it's time where we find a partner where it's safe to communicate on both sides. Here's what I like. And
Yep.
now we can explore. And that safety is what I think is most exciting. And then we get to do all these fun things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's such a beautiful point, really, because truly at the end of the day, one way you can make yourself irreplaceable to a man of any age, but especially over 50, is to be his emotional sanctuary. Men, especially as we get older, we struggle to express our feelings, especially if we grew up in an era or a period of time where it was considered weak, which honestly, a lot of people would say even today, it's still considered weak to be vulnerable. But I mean, if you grew up in the 60s or the 70s, like this was not a time period of the 50s. This was not a time period where it was okay to express yourself. So if you can invite a man to be vulnerable and to open him up to new things by creating a sense of emotional safety for him, like you'll become an irreplaceable part of his life, like really quick.
Spot on.
Hmm.
All right, Matt. Number 5, give it to us.
Number five, and it's so cool because what we were just talking about really speaks into this exact same concept. But number five is deep, non-sexual touch and affection. So it's like what, and this speaks to exactly what we're talking about, right? Is that in order to have great sex with a guy over 50, right, he needs to feel safe. And one of the best ways to do that is non-sexual physical touch. So holding him, caressing him. It's not just about the act itself, it's the touches and gestures that help him get out of his head and into his body. So, cuddling him and caressing him before even initiating foreplay, before even going to the breadbasket. It's holding him or just like spooning with him after sex. It's cuddling on the couch before intimacy even begins. It's like the more just finding his like spots where he likes to be pet. Maybe it's the small of his back or the back of his head or who knows, his thighs, or it means finding his being an explorer, finding his spots that aren't necessarily have anything to do with sex. And then just caressing those and holding him in that way so that he can truly like feel safe with you in a physical way. Because an important thing to remember here is that for most men, one of our primary love languages is touch. Like it just is. So when you can communicate to a man in that language in a way that he truly appreciates, he's going to feel safer with you emotionally and physically, which is then going to make him feel more turned on towards you and more sort of like confident in initiating intimacy with you and being more confident and directive with you sexually. I mean, that's been my experience in my life. And I know as men get older, like this is much more important. Like we're not just about getting our rocks off like we were back in the day. Am I right, Mr. Goldstein?
I mean, it's so spot on. Like we have this misnomer that all men are like, "Ooh, she's hot. I want to have sex with her." It's way more advanced for some men, yes, but for other men, they want to have this emotional intimacy and this safety.
Mhm.
Specifically, like I want to tell a story that I've never told, and even Paige
Mm,
doesn't know this, my girlfriend, and she's the one. I would, for years, into my 30, I'm in my 40s now, until about like 37, I refused.
mm,
Like I would always have the woman put her head here.
mm,
And I always wanted to put my head right there. And I refused to do it because I come from this era where I thought I was weak, or I was less than a man if I put my head like on her shoulder and then she caressed
mm.
my head. And so finally,
Wow.
it's silly, but this is how men think. I just want to
Mhm,
tell them. So finally, now I like put my, after a long day, I'll put my head like on her lap or in the shoulder. And she's so great. She'll just like rub my head. And she knows I just went to war for like hours trying to make us money. And now she's taking care of me. And her way of doing that is rubbing my head and just, we're
mm,
not talking. She's just giving me a little massage and letting me wind down from the day. And when she
mm,
does that, I remember that for an entire week, sometimes an entire month. And she got massive brownie points that last like a month. And then when we get in the bedroom, I remember that she gave me that for anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour or however long it was. So now I'm going to give her something very special in the bedroom that she really wants.
Exactly. And not because it's transactional, but
Yes.
because when we receive something that means a lot to us, our natural impulse, our natural reaction is to give back because truly a healthy relationship is an equivalent bilateral exchange of energy. Like just a fundamental principle. And that accounts in sex, that's in communication, that's in every aspect of relationship. The more we give, the more we'll receive, as long as we're in a healthy partnership with someone who wants to make us happy at least as much as we want to make them happy, which hopefully is the type of relationship that you're in, that you're getting into. So that's beautiful that you and your girlfriend have, found that sweet spot and that she's able to give you something, and then you had, the courage to ask for it or to initiate and to invite it for yourself as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All
Yeah.
right. So I want to end with once again, you've just experienced Matt Schaefer. He obviously is a wealth of knowledge around sex, around dating. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We chose to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
sex because, of course, Matt's good at it and understands it. But he just does so much more for the women community in terms of getting them into partnership, working on their attachment styles, working on how they see themselves, how they show up to dating. He's really been at the top of our industry. And then more than that, he gives stuff for free like a madman that no one in our industry does that I know about. And I probably know about 200 coaches in our industry. Matt gives the most free stuff. He also gets some of the best results, maybe the best. And he's just a giver. He gives so much of his time until he literally is exhausted and falls over. And I'm not joking. I've seen him. Like he gives. Like I think you were in the hospital a year and a half ago because you overworked. Am I not right?
No, not in the hospital. I mean,
Oh,
I'm generally very tired by the end of my launch because I just got done coaching for 50, 60, 70 hours with y'all. And so I usually need to take about a couple days of just like getting IVs and chilling. But it's so worth it for me because for me, seeing the transformation of the women who come through my Mastery of Connection course, which you can apply down below, you got to check us out. Like at the end of this 3 week live journey, after we unpack and help you shift your beliefs around love and relationship, help you identify and work on your attachment style, and help you identify your personality type and how to communicate with other people, Then I help you learn how to apply all those in your relationships with men. That's what the whole third week is about. So you're going to get 60 to 70 hours of live coaching to help you apply all this stuff you've learned in your relationships with men. By the end of this journey, people are transformed. People have left bad relationships. People are out there dating and starting new relationships. People have changed their relationship with themselves, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about transforming your relationships from the inside out. Because when you have a better relationship with yourself, all your relationships change as a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to have better relationships with men, but I also just want you to be the best version of yourself. And if you come along and commit to this process, which again, it's totally free, you will be a better version of yourself by the end of our time together. Like I guarantee you that, because that's the stand I am in this work and in this industry. So we start on 10/28. Be sure to click that link and come along and sign up and be a part of this course. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to do a lot of good work with me and my incredible team, and you'll be a different person by the end of it.
And just to be emphatically clear, ladies, it will be in the description down below, and I will also post the link as the top comment. If for some reason you're struggling to find this, comment, "Hey Mike, where is the link?" And I will send it to you in that comment. Because I know sometimes it's confusing to find these things. So I want to make sure, ladies, you get this and that we deliver what we said we're going to deliver. And that's a lot of Matt and a lot of helping.
Let's go.
All right. Do we have anything left to say, Matt?
I just want to share as like a final thought that you are fundamentally and inherently worthy of the relationship that you desire. No matter what you've gone through, no matter what any man has ever told to you. I mean, I've heard so many stories. I've worked with tens of thousands of women, and so many women create a story that they're too old, they've been through too much, they're too this, they're too that, they're too fat, they're too skinny, everybody's got a story disqualifying themselves from love. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely unequivocally not true, right? You have the capacity and the ability and the inherent worthiness to be in the type of partnership, to be in the type of relationship that you desire. Like what it requires, though, is the willingness to work on ourselves and the willingness to put ourselves out there. But if you're able to commit to that, you can have literally any type of relationship you want. And I've seen it hundreds and thousands of times. And so I just want to invite you, whether you do the work with me or you do it with someone else, I just invite you to do the work, because your love, your partnership that you desire, it's waiting for you. It's waiting for you, and you're worthy of it.
Love that. Love it. Anytime you do any work, whether it's with Matt, with me, with any other coach, you're progressing towards the outcome you want. So let's progress. Let's do something. We do nothing, we get nothing. We do something, we get something. It's that simple. Let's not overcomplicate this. We do a little work, we're going to start progressing towards our goal. If this is important to you, go do it. It's free. There's no excuses. If it's not important, then what are we even doing here? I can't believe you made it this long. But if it's important,
why are you watching
click
this video?
Yeah. Like, obviously, if you made it to this point, you're like, I care about dating, I care about sex, I care about my love life. And if that's true, then click the thing. All right, let's end there. Matt, you're a freaking legend. I love seeing you. Can't believe we've been friends for I think 7, 8 years now or something.
7, 8 years, bro. 7, 8 years. It's been a minute.
That's crazy. All right, ladies, thank you for sticking around for this long, and we look forward to helping you in the future and doing more videos.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Mike. I'll see you soon, ladies.
Bye.